Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back. It's Mega8, the final week of qualifications. I'm going to be your host, Scarpy, for this game, and I am going to be joined by none other than Demonic. Demonic, exDee going up against Clan in Progress. We were discussing it beforehand. Don't really know much about Clan in Progress, but exDee have had a pretty good run, only lost one game so far in the qualifications.
Yeah, they did well. Obviously, they took a defeat against Bravado Gaming last week. In a rather harsh encounter that it was, but I think they played well regardless, and they have had some roster changes. So I think they're still trying to get used to things a little bit. But I think all in all they are doing very well. Just to talk about Clan in Progress a little bit, these guys have been around for a long time in various. I mean, Death Cookie has been in sort of like Premier First Division for as long as I can remember. King Jason S also has been around then. I'm talking in the VS Gaming League and previously DGL. So they are definitely no strangers to competitive Dota, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, there are some familiar names there, but as a team I haven't really had an opportunity to see much of them playing, but I believe they're something to keep an eye on. But I mean, going up against a somewhat giant, you could say, like exDee, could be a bit of a tough one for them. But you touched on something very important there. A couple of changes to exDee. Even though it's only one individual that changed, it's actually three positions that changed.
Three positions,
from off lane to the mid, and Rock Lee went into off lane position, and now Abyss has joined onto that pos 5. Actually, it's 4 changes because Fury is now playing pos 4, which is unlike him. He usually plays at position 5. So
yeah, exactly. Pretty
significant change for only one individual, actually. But enough about that. The draft got itself underway. A couple of bans gone through. Nothing too out of the ordinary there, but the picks. Silencer, Sand King, the opening here for exDee, pretty strong. Slardar and the Shadow Shaman. Shaman, something I haven't seen much of as of late.
He's just like one of those South African favorites, you know what I mean? Little Scarballs.
I feel like we had this discussion before, right?
Many times, and it's just like Juggernaut and Shadow Shaman, that's just like our meta, I guess.
Yeah, it's like the first 2 heroes we learn, and we're just like, that's what we play, guys. That's what we play. But gonna ban out the Tide. It's nice to see the Brewmaster actually getting a first phase ban. It's a hero that I've actually seen quite a lot of in the international scene. Pretty good. And I know exDee are willing to run it in multiple positions. So
yeah, his pandas, got some buffs here and there, and he got hard nerfed at one stage because he was getting played, and then quite a lot, and then I forget which patch it was. He got like hard nerfed and then wasn't picked for years, because they used to play him in the mid lane. And now, sort of with the changes to off lane and the way that in the addition of shrines and that kind of thing, he's sort of beginning to like make his way back. And they buffed. They gave him some love. They gave him some buffs because they were like, no one's picking this hero anymore. Perhaps it was too much.
Yeah.
And then, okay, broken hero.
Well,
welcome to Beastmaster.
All right, so. We're still not sure if they fixed the bug right now, but Beastmaster can break that backdoor, so we'll see if that comes into play at all in this game. I mean, if it does go the distance, it could potentially, but we'll see if they're really going to abuse that. Another thing, we were talking about the Brewmaster. His level 25, I think, is insane, right? Minus 65 seconds on his cooldown for his ultimate.
Yeah.
With a 20-second duration. I think it has 5 seconds downtime. He can just be perma-brewlings and almost have a permanent BKB. Kind of.
Yeah. And like if he has an Argument Scepter, he doesn't lose any of his spells either, which is like Drunken Haze is a stupidly strong spell at all stages of the game.
That's quite true. It's actually such a nuisance for the laning stage.
What is it, 65% miss chance or something?
Yeah.
55?
It's dumb. It's like when you lane up against it, just like life is terrible, and
you have to go an MKB against Panda. But
MKB still doesn't fix that though.
Right. Yeah. They do have a very strong pushing lineup at the moment with the Beastmaster and the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
Like, those are 2 heroes that can get towers down. They have exDee decide to go for their Underlord pick, something that they do run on occasion and is pretty good anti-push, although not the best against wards. But pretty good against Beastmaster. Killing all his piggies and stuff just gives the Underlord incredible amounts of damage. And if he decides to go into an Argument Scepter, he can share that with his team as well, which is quite fun.
Yeah, that's quite true. I think exDee, I think when I think back about of all the games that I've watched and cast, they've actually run Underlord quite a lot throughout multiple different offlaners. I think from Jappa, Clouds also run it a little bit, not as much, and now Rocket League going to give it a shot himself. So they definitely sort of value this hero quite highly.
I do remember teasing the vet about it in the Mega8 Winter Cup.
Yeah.
Because I think they got knocked out because they picked in a game that they picked Underlord. That's why I know that they've picked it before, just because I remember that situation. Another really strong hero. Wow. Kind of progress. I mean, that's a good draft that they've got at the moment.
That's scary, right? Like,
yeah.
The aura from the Beastmaster on top of the Medusa. If this game goes the distance, that's a horrifying lineup to go up against. I mean, Medusa, she too has a insane level 25 and is going to be left to her own devices to far more than likely. So getting there is not going to be too much of an issue for that hero. But good lord.
Wowzers, the Meepo, yes! Yes!
Well, about everything we were saying. Oh man.
Yes! Meepo! We get to cast Meepo, Scarpy. Isn't that exciting?
I'm excited. Hunter Meepo as well. I mean...
yeah, I was about to say that, like, the Beastmaster's aura, like, Shadow Shaman hits like a truck, all stages. He has a ridiculously high physical damage, but just, like, and Slaughter, obviously, with the bash, they're all great heroes for that Beastmaster aura, but it's Meepo.
But I feel like we're not giving this Meepo enough love, right? Bravado, who
Meepo's...
absolutely crushed exDee, banned Meepo every game. That's how much of a concern the exDee Meepo actually is.
The problem is the burst, right? The thing is that, like, the thing with Meepo is that if you have good control, that poof burst is just insane, Scarpy. So, like, they do have a good Meepo player on their side.
They have two good Meepo players.
You can just blow that Medusa up. You can blow the Beastmaster. They don't really care about Shadow Shaman wards anymore. The Meepos can just run in and deal with that in like a second. Once he has about about 3 or so. Like Slaughter can do some work against the Meepo, but he can just turn around nets like once he's crushed and absolutely.
What is this?
Trash them, and I like that. That's more of the tower push in the right direction, and it gives sort of like control to the Meepo to be able to just deal some poofs.
Is this like safe lane silencer or mid lane silencer?
I think it's off lane Underlord.
Yeah,
possibly mid silencer against the Medusa.
It's actually quite a scary. Tri-lane if you go Jakira and Underlord and Sand King, right? That's a long duration of lockdown.
Yeah. Like Sand King and Jakira could do well just even doing a little bit of roaming around the map.
Yeah. Underlord can fare for himself.
Like with
pretty well.
Yeah.
And okay. I mean Ursa's good, can bring down one of the Meepos very quickly, I think.
Yeah, he's also good against Underlord. And like just sort of the tankiness on the side of XD in general.
I mean, overall, I like Clean in Progress's draft by far, but they are going up against Hunter Meepo, which is just a.
I like both drafts.
This is a mid lane Jakira, by the way. Heads up, just saying.
Well.
That's interesting. So
that
Fury's playing the silencer.
Yeah. I thought the silencer would be cool. I mean, he deals an atrocious amount of damage.
Yeah, this is peculiar. I like the mid lane Jakira. I think it fitted quite nicely in at a time. I suppose now they also got a way of sort of...
Jakiro is insanely strong. I actually don't mind him being run at a core just because the Kaya exists.
Yeah.
And that alone, with maybe a Veil, makes him deal... What? We saw it last weekend.
We saw it last week. Yeah, of course. Offlane,
with Donnie,
on Donnie, yeah. That was obscene, actually. It was very difficult to deal with.
So, I mean, that just melts the Medusa in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah. It's also... Jakiro, if... position well can be very good counter initiation to something like a Beastmaster. Like Beastmaster roars and you put the Ice Path down and you're like, oh.
You put the Ice Path down, you put the Liquid Fire, which slows attack speed. So that's also really good, like, just as a general counter to the Beastmaster Aura and Ursa.
In fact, they got a lot of counter initiation. I think
both teams have, like, pretty good counters to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite fair. I think, but I'm kind of getting a grasp of XD's draft now. They want to sort of, they jump on Meepo, let's deal with it with our counter initiation, like TP in quickly or be in the general vicinity. I mean, they got an Underlord who can, is pretty mobile, the Uber of the game.
I think there's got to, at about, 12, 16 minutes, there's got to there's got to be a point that the Underlord gets like a mechanism. You got to get the third to fourth Reaper, third Reaper on Hunter, and suddenly you're going to be able to push towers like crazy.
Yeah.
That, like with Twin, because the Twin's got to be able to get to the points of liquid fire that he needs to be able to push. So like there's just going to be a huge power spike coming out. But that's also the point that like they're going to be getting the blink daggers and maybe a Yasha or Necrobook on the Beastmaster. So it's going to be sort of power spikes coming out of both sides. It's going to be, I think it's going to, if Clan and Progress can weather that initial pushing, like if they can hold on to their map control, then I think they actually scale a little bit better.
Is it wrong to say that this game could rely heavily on the laning stages?
I think so.
On both sides. So maybe favoring a little bit of XD just because of their experience together as a team.
Yeah, XD need less to get going, right?
Yeah.
I would argue like they need just less farm. They only need a couple of core items before they can actually begin what they want to accomplish this game. Whereas for Clan and Progress, that's going to take a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
They need a little bit more farm, but they do have some really good pushing power themselves. So,
yeah, fair enough. So this Jakiro going into the mid lane. Last time we casted, we discussed the significant amount of spell amplification he got with Kaya, plus his talents on his talent tree and things like that. Does he scale well enough for that potential late game into a Medusa, or is XD that's a complete no for?
Like them? I would previously argue no. Now I would like totally argue, especially with the amount of lockdown they have. They're going to have more nets, more nets heading to the late game. They've got the Ice Path. They've got the Sand King stun. They can keep that Macropire. Like they can keep someone in a Macropire for an extended period of time, right, Scarpy?
Yeah.
So I think that's, and even with the in-scaling, this Twin is going to be dealing a disgusting amount of damage, even 30 to 40 minutes in. I think he's going to, if he gets a Veil into Kaya, that kind of thing, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is quite a scary thing. So, Dusa going up against the Jakiro in the mid lane, I think it's arguable that this should favor the Dusa, but the Jakiro did start off with at least 2 bouncy runes early on. Does have the dual breath, gonna harass out a little bit. But once that Snake's online, I think the Jakiro has a bit of a tough time in this matchup.
Yeah, like the stakes initially will be tough for him. Once he gets a few points into that liquid fire, he can begin to spam it regularly on the Medusa. That's when he can actually start fighting back in terms of harassing in the lane.
Or bot lane, they got a net. Do they have enough damage here? But First Blood actually goes in the top lane. Rock Lee does get brought down. A bit of a deep dive there from them, but they'll trade it 1-for-1 as that's going to be a kill here for Abyss, who is Herald, is a ladder. But yeah, so 1 apiece there. Not so good for XD. I really thought that the Underlord would be a little bit more tankier for the laning stages, but it seems like they had enough to bring him down. Did you manage to catch that kill?
I didn't catch that kill at all. I was busy watching mid and bottom. Unfortunately, the damage reduction is only 7% in the first level. They have nerfed it quite a bit since he was initially brought in. It looks like mid lane is the place to be. We've got the Sand King. Death Cookie is sitting here very low. It does have some help coming in from the Slaughter, so...
Yeah, the Slaughter looking to... Seems like both pos4s making similar rotations onto one another. It's going to be scattered at you by Cloud, so he'll have a very good idea. This might even say the Slaughter must go, but he's going to walk straight into a Sand King. He's going to trade a blow with him here. Crush is going to be there. There is a stun up for the Sand King, so he can get over the cliff if necessary to escape. But actually, they're going to turn around. Cheers, Death Cookie might have made a very big mistake here, thinking he can survive this one. The Crush is going to catch out too, but will it be enough? As Abyss, he's trying to trade a couple of right clicks here. Will he have enough? It's very, very close. He does fall, but that's a double kill, or at least 2 kills going, or at least experience going for the Jakiro. He's now going to be sheeped up. A large amount of rotations coming through as Fury, he too is here to try and slow things down. A good Fury fire, but it's not enough. As the Slaughter has respawned. 4 here is now chasing down Fury. Could there be a good stun coming at you from Abyss? Oh, the Crush is going to be there. This should be the demise at least of Fury. This ball is an absolute nuisance, and the kill will go for Wonder Boy. Ooh, apologies. Mouse doing some crazy things there. But pretty good fight here. Pretty good fight for Clan in Progress.
Yeah, I mean, they They had to bring out a lot from the bottom lane, which they gave the Meepo space, and it's still going on. I mean,
yeah, this fight's not giving up anytime soon. Fury as well as Cloud are going to make the rotation here to slow things down, so Wonderboy looks like he's going to pay for his sins at least, as he does go down now. Cloud actually looking for a second one. Slinker might be looking for the deny, as great aggro change there by Cloud to make sure that that deny was not going to be possible. And they found themselves another kill, so I mean, it was good. Maybe they should have backed themselves on that. These really low cooldowns is actually sometimes a lot more difficult to calculate in this current patch.
Yeah, and that's given our Jakira a quick double null, which helps so much in terms of just being able to spam out this lane. And I wouldn't mind him going for a bottle, to be honest, Scarky, just so that he can like hang and bang in this lane.
Yeah, he seems to rely quite heavily on his mana, I do agree, but he's actually going to bring some raindrops in, which is also a very good item, very underrated item up against the Deucer, so stop that snake from dealing too much damage to zone him out of lane. But
bottom lane, they're going for King Jason.
King Jason, there is a net. Does he have the cast range? No, it is only a level 1 net, so yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. But it's actually Rock Lee who's in trouble. Top lane, that damage reduction's a lot, but it's not enough as he does go down. Another kill for Wonderboy, who's been pretty successful, sitting 4 and 2, 4 minutes in. That's a pretty nice pause for Slaughter.
Yeah,
to see.
I mean, he likes fighting early. He has a very cheap stun that's very good. And Death Cookie's in trouble in the mid. They're going to get him.
Oh, another kill going that way. Sorry, missed out on that one, but that's going to be Abyss with a successful move, TPing himself, and King Jason can do nothing about that. And yeah, that seems like that'll be all she wrote for that. So Cloud's actually had quite a lot of help from his team. He's now got 4 assists. It's helping him get at least that XP lead over that Deucer, sitting level 5 in comparison to that level 4. So, okay, Deucer just found at 5, so not that bad, but this is a lane you kind of expect the Deucer to do alright in.
Yeah, those raindrops making the difference, man.
Absolutely. I'm quite sure they are really good in this game, but they're leaving Hunter to his own devices. Do you think they should maybe throw these supports down here and just put a lot of pressure on Hunter, force those supports out of the lanes? Or
I mean, he now has 3 levels in Poof, which is troublesome for King Jason S. He can't really hang around here because that's going to put him very close to death. I mean, it's 120 damage out, 120 damage in, so 240 each.
Yeah.
Or top lane.
Top lane. Big fight going down here. At least one will go down. That will be Abyss. Now they're looking for Rocket Man. But Rocket Man, he's pretty tanky. They'll actually find Wonderboy on the sidelines. They're not prioritizing that, also realizing he's got phase boots, are difficult individuals to chase down. So they trade 1 for 1. And that's going to be a possible for pos also. I think this is not bad for Abyss. I think him getting a bit of extra experience, a little bit of extra pressure on his lane, slowing down the farm of the Ursa, overall seems like a good trade. But now he might be in a bit of trouble here, as the Crush is going to be there. It's going to catch out too, and Rock Lee overextending maybe, could be argued. As a lot of damage coming onto the Ursa, but not enough as a killing spree, as they do find
17 HP on that Ursa. He almost died to the
Chris. I was watching the ticks, but it was just short.
Interestingly, Silencer has only now decided to go for a level into Last Word, and Wonderboy may actually be in trouble here.
Yeah, Wonderboy is in big trouble, and the kill will go for Cloud. He just makes a quick rotation, says, yeah, I'll have that one, and got a regen rune on hand, so... Yeah,
delicious.
That's really nice for him, sitting with a good score, 2, 1, and 4. I mean, Death Cookie's having a tough time, 0-2-0. The laning stages are average at best for him. But wrapping around the back, good movement here from Abyss. That's going to be a Macropire drop. Do they have enough damage? They should. That should be the demise. Yeah. As he walks straight back into the Macropire, so secures that kill.
Slinky.
Look at that. Oh, now looking for more. Actually, Slinky. A little bit of an error. Walks right into that Sand King. Man, both these past 4s having a very big impact on this game, but arguably, I think exDee's laning stages in general are going better.
I would just like to point you out to the fact that the Silencer has 12 stolen intelligence. He's 7
and Rock Lee's in trouble. Big trouble, but it might make a trade here. Can they do it? Oh, Fury. No! Rocket Man. Oh, man. Is this Kim Jong-un? The Rocket Man? Just wailing away at them. Very successful fight there for him, at least. Finding 2 kills, and that could have gone either way, really.
Now the classic Elton John song, Turning True, Rocket Man, flying through the skies.
Gonna be caught out here. Big rotations from the support, successful at that. And that is smoke. They're looking for more.
Yeah, they want to go back to top, get as much as they can. Like, Rock Lee's having an atrocious time. He's nowhere even close to... He's trying to get a head race, but they're going to find Fury.
Yeah, Fury's in trouble here. The sprint's up on Wonderboy. Oh, he misses the crush, though. Just not patient enough. Now he's going to be low on mana. He has to get himself out of this one.
Just going to walk it off.
Rock Lee might... Oh, actually going to be slowed down. Actually still doesn't have a point up into Bit of Malice, so it can't really assist with providing that extra bit of lockdown that they require to get enough damage down. As, yeah, Ursa's a scary man to run into. Another thing
I'm really surprised he hasn't got at least one pointer to pit.
Yeah, it's crazy for me, right? I always thought that they rated Pits as one of the stronger abilities, but oh no, the curse, Slinky, he'll live, he'll just live. One more second.
Like you know, there are what's known as like standard builds, but it's also sometimes you just have to think about like what you're up against, right? Like my argument would be that Pit of Malice in this is especially against an Ursa, is like the difference between life and death.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
If you see a Shadow Shaman running towards you about to shackle,
God, just Jason, yes. That's a dead man as the Meepos are going to puff themselves on in. And not only will the Medusa die, but so will that Beastmaster. Big stack in the jungle here. Now this is a scary thing. If exDee find that, that's a whole bunch of extra currency in their pocket. So
they've got a Blink Dagger on the Meepo, which is coming towards him at the moment. He's got one Meepo, the main Meepo's top. Other two Meepos are heading bottom to try and push that tower. They're looking for a fight here. Doesn't look like they're going to find it though. But this is the timing.
Very aware. This ward is well placed.
Even earlier than I thought it would be, Scarpy. I think they've just decided to get together as 5 and start pushing. Use the other two Meepos. He's got his third Meepo now, so this is the point that he can actually do this.
Yeah, it looks like they want to at least put some sort of pressure onto him, but they're going to lose a tower definitely. They're going up against a Jakiro, who's now definitely got 4 points up into his Liquid Fire, so yeah. That's going to be another building going down. So, I mean, 2 big lockdown abilities that haven't been picked up, but I think the Jakira's is more forgivable than maybe the Pit of Malice.
Yeah, this is arguably just like their pushing power at how he has to fight against the Medusa. This lets him win that lane because of the Liquid Fire cooldown at level 4 is 4 seconds. He can pretty much keep it on that Medusa and make it really hard for her to like farm in the lane, which is pretty much what happened. I mean, Medusa's now fighting back, getting some like creep in the jungle, but
they're looking for the Sand King here. They might actually find him, but he's going to be evasive. That is going to be Abyss. Maybe he's surviving this one, as Rock Lee is going to say, "No, I'll have none of that." Gets himself an ad, and it seems like that's it. That's the smoke gone awry completely for them. A lot of time wasted.
Knows that they're top. Go bottom, push tower.
Yeah, Meepo's just having a great time, a jolly old time. Blink Dagger up, looking for that scythe soon. Just your typical Meepo builds, pretty much. No Dragon Lancers anymore, it seems. As I can't say.
That's got slightly nerfed on the Dragon Lance, right?
Yeah, they did indeed. And I think going for the Aquillas is the new thing, because not Aquillas. Apologies for the Wraith Bands early on. Give you those extra bit of stats. Should be enough.
Yeah. Like the change to stats makes that pretty worth. You know, gives you some damage.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Abyss is also doing pretty well. He's got 900 in the bank. If he gets a Blink Dagger up, I can't see a way for the Clan in Progress to win team fights. He's just going to initiate, turn things around every time.
Ursa is 30 gold from a Blink Dagger, which is a fairly important timing for them, and that's not too bad considering what's been happening up here at top.
Yeah, that's quite fair. But now Wonderboy looking for the crush. He's founded here onto Cloud. Cloud now going to throw out the Macropire. Good silence there. That meant there was no way for the Shadow Shaman to lock it down. The Jakiro is just going to walk this one off, but now it's actually going to be Rocket Man. He's turned this one around and seems like Rock Lee, he might be in a little bit of trouble, but a good slow coming at you from Cloud. It should be enough. Liquid Fire is also going to slow down that attack speed until he does. He does, in fact, have enough for his... Oh, overpower, throws out the ulti. Will it be enough? Meanwhile, actually, Fury finds a kill on the sidelines here. They actually find Rocket Man, as Rock Lee will pick that one up for himself. So 2 kills, and this Shaman, this poor Shaman, also taking a tumble there to the silencer, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is getting slightly out of control now. Like, they are getting a lot out of this exDee, and I mean, Hunter managed to take that bottom tower as well during that engagement, and they managed to get a favorable trade, and it looks like Beastmaster may be in trouble again.
Yeah, I don't see a way for him to survive this one, but it's actually going to be Death Cookie, who jumps right in here, throws out the Stone Gaze. Good crash from Wonderboy. That invis on hand. Oh, they're going to TP out. No, they won't get enough. So, in fact, they might have overextended their movements here, but they do get the Slido at least. Cloud will find that one for himself. Does he have much more to turn things around? There is a burst. He does have Soul Ring, so he can. He's throwing out the ulti, in fact, preparing for them to dive deep. And will he have enough damage? I do doubt that. Very close to getting at least a burst strike online for himself to maybe escape, but no TP on hand, so this should be his fall. Jason has got the ultimates, gonna use that one. And yeah, that will be all she wrote for Abyss. Ultra kill for Rocket Man. Alright.
Got that Blink Dagger. It's a pretty good spike for him. And,
you know, as soon as you said things are getting out of hand, they just turn that around pretty quickly. So a lot of gold in their pockets, but still the Meepo's farming away. They haven't really done anything to slow him down.
Yeah, he's just, you know,
kill.
he decided not to join that fight.
Slaughter? There's no other nets? Okay.
There's a netty.
Alright. Yeah, that's a dead Slaughter. This is the problem, right? You can't be alone when you're playing up against a Meepo. He could just about be anywhere, and while he's farming, just say, hey, I'll get a kill. So, something they need to be careful of, at least. Leaving someone alone in lane.
Yep, cue those blinks. Poof odds. Cue the poofs. Blink out to someone. Bob's your uncle. Free kill for Meepo.
Yeah. I can't say I'm a good Meepo player at all. But, yeah, I always enjoy watching a good Meepo game. But, yeah, I think... I don't know. I just thought, what do they do now to stop this Meepo from getting completely out of control? Do they try to find him? Do they maybe just try and get
this is a good time for them to find him, because he doesn't have the sheep or lockdown for, you know, for the Ursa as of yet. And so they do have an opportunity now where he's going to be able to blink and get onto those Meepos, actually get the kill. But there's just so much tower pressure coming out from the side of exDee, which is, you know, that's exDee's plan. They've got the Twin-Headed Dragon just sitting here top, and he's just going to take this tower if no one does anything about it.
They're just using up a lot of time to get farm for Death Cookie here. Stacks up. He's going to realize it's impossible to clear that stack with those prowlers there, so he needs to get some sort of itemization up if he wants to do anything. In fact, it looks like he's relying on the Beastmaster to give him some attack speed or to farm in the jungle here, so...
Yeah, and they do actually do some damages, those wild axes, since they are physical, so he does have the ability to at least spam out the wave a little bit with the Soul Ring and help out Death Cookie a little bit to get these Ancients, but it looks like exDee are smoked in the mid lane.
Alright, so they're
trying to think about where to go.
They scan the top, so they know there might not be anything there. If they can catch this stack is damn low. Fury's actually going to walk straight into one of them. Should know something's happening, surely. But instead, they're going to look to maybe put some pressure onto this tier 2 tower, and in fact, that's going to be the stack cleared up for them. So Death Cookie getting a little bit of gold, still a way to go before he gets their Maelstrom online. And that will help him with a little bit of damage, but I still think Medusa needs to sort of get a lot more items before he becomes any form of significant impact for his side.
Yeah, that's the problem with Medusa, right? She's had a lot of pressure put onto her the early game, thanks to that Sad King in the mid lane, and because of it now she's having to try and like fight her way back in the forest. But there's just so much pressure happening, and fight going down.
Yeah, good stun. Global Silence going to be used here on the backline. Still no one to fall yet, but it's the Ursa who's going to find himself in a terrible position. Will die. Hunter will find himself that kill. Does get stunned up a little bit here. The Slider's still alive. He too is going to get spiked up, and it looks like they're going to back themselves on that now as the Gaze is there. But oh man, that magical damage coming out from the Jakira. Now with the Kaya online. In fact, another kill going there for Hunter. He jumps in, gets the poof combo down. And this is one of the problems you play up against a Meepo. If your high ground is exposed, it goes down very, very quickly. Meepo's also got a scythe. Wow.
He does have a scythe, yeah. They left him in the forest to do, you know, bot lane things, and he just took advantage of that.
Yeah, but I think you try and put some pressure on the Meepo, and then the Jakira just takes your towers. So
yeah,
it's always this like lose-lose situation, I feel, for Clan in Progress.
Yeah, that Veil Kaya, just feels like a little bit strong, Scoffy, on Jakiro. He just reaches this, like a huge power spike, as we saw it. I mean, how much damage he was doing to that Beastmaster and the other heroes.
They were running away, and Clan in Progress was running after them, and then they're like, wait a minute, we're dying here. Oh, Slaughter. Jumps in, gets Arthpath up. Are they looking to turn this one around? The rest of them are rotating it, but look at the magical damage. It's just so damn much. The Ursa's trying to bring down the Underlord, and he will successfully do so. Now it's Cloud who's going to find himself in a bit of trouble. Got no mobility items on hand, so... But it's the Meepo. Jumps in, going to get the sheep down. Cloud's still alive. No, he's not. He will take a fall. Finally. Double kill does go the way of Hunter, though, as he does bring down a second, but needs to be a bit careful now. He is quite low. Oh, that career, that was a... Ooh,
I was trying to bring in his 4-staff.
Fury. Big mistakes there.
He was trying to bring Fury his 4-staff, but he TP'd.
Yeah, Hunter.
Yeah? Poof is on cooldown. He can kill this Beastmaster.
Yeah, this Beastmaster should die, actually. Oh, but they're going to get the... Actually...
Oh, he missed.
Actually, big trouble here. They could actually bring down this Meepo. Could be a big kill for them. In fact, they will. 1,175 gold into the pocket of this Medusa. The last hero you want to be giving such a big, significant amount of gold to. So, Abyss. Gonna find the double damage. Gonna at least deny that from them and still escape. So, alright for him. Bit of a blunder maybe from Hunter. I don't know if you can agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. His poofs were he was a little bit short, I think, in Fury as well. He landed a little bit short, and I think it was only one Meepo actually hit with the poofs, which didn't instantly kill the Beastmaster, and allowed the Medusa to get off his ulti, and just disaster, wow. And that's 1,000 gold. 1,000 gold.
1,000 gold into that pocket. Oh, I haven't even got the net worths up. What am I doing? The Medusa now does have the Maelstrom as well as the Dragon Lance, so a little bit of a problem for the Meepo maybe, but I mean Maelstrom is not the biggest concern when you're playing Meepo. Meepo does have 10% more magic resistance than any other hero in Dota, so he's not too concerned about the Maelstrom procs, and he can also absorb a lot of them, which I feel a lot of people make that error. He's definitely going for the Maelstrom because he wants to farm, I think, more than anything, not really to counter out this Meepo.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, considering how far behind he was, he's fought back, valiantly. He's doing really well with 20 minutes to have a Dragon Lance and Maelstrom you're doing fine on Medusa.
Hang on, they've changed Meepo. I didn't know they changed his stats. He doesn't have 35 magic rays anymore. Okay.
Does he not?
Yeah. Well, unless there's a bug on my screen. It says 25 magic rays, so... Maybe a bit of an error there by me, but I mean that's new. Clearly, that must be new in this new patch. Must have just read over that.
He used to have 35.
Yeah, you always used to have 10% more. I remember that clearly. But
I think they took it away where they gave him the stats from the start.
Oh yes, you are probably right. I think everyone just focused on that. Completely forgot about all the other important things.
Well, it was his Argon Scepter, right? So they were just like, well, here's his Ags. Deal with it.
Yeah. Well, no more exterior towers left.
Oh, Hunter's gonna get the courier. Oh, he's not. That's just a Hawk idiot.
Alright, Boots of Trouble up on the Meepo now, so...
Yeah, he does.
Poor Slinky. Poor Slinky. Just get murdered in the top lane here, but now they're going to look for a rotation of their own. They're going to find Rock Lee in a bad position here. The rest of the team are going to quickly come in, and that's going to be Abyss with a great stun. Global Silence on the back of that. This could be a bit of a problem. Pit of Malice going to be used here. Wonder Boy taking a hell of a lot of damage on the backlines here. Meanwhile, the Ursa, he's going to try and find something. In fact, it does go the way of Death Cookie as they bring down the Jakiro. So a 1-for-1 really in that exchange. Of course, the Shadow Shaman died in the top lane, so not too bad.
Yeah, they'll go for the Shrine since their twin died.
So... What big item progress for Clan in Progress is required for them to say, okay, we feel far more confident and we're going to play a bit aggressive instead of this defense posture that they're holding currently?
I thought they might want to get a BKB as quick as possible on Rockman, just because they possibly knew the sheep was coming. It's like a really common Meepo build. So he is building towards it now. Does have his Mithril Hammer if he wants to, but they haven't been able to take advantage of Rush, which is currently now happening for the side of exDee. You know, as an Ursa lineup, you do want to be able to take that as early as possible, but unfortunately this game's just been a little bit too active for them.
They sort of lost control of their river or at least the river
Yeah.
area, quite early on into this game. Makes life very difficult for an Ursa player to get that early Roshan. So, yeah.
I said they needed to hold that map control, and it's 20 minutes into the game and they've lost their mid-racks. At least one of them, and all the outer towers. So they just weren't able to... I mean, they did really well in the early rotations, but unfortunately they just were a little bit behind at levels and didn't have, like, good enough team fights. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, but this might actually be a little bit of a turnaround here. Hunter, he has poofed on in now. Has put himself in a bit of a tight position, and he will go down. That's going to be Aegis on the ground. Now they know exactly where that Aegis is. You try to get the Meepo as far away as possible, but now the Meepo is going to have to just do whatever damage he can, but gets absolutely destroyed. Meanwhile, top lane, they're looking to put a bit of pressure at least onto this tier 4 tower, or tier 3 tower, apologies. As, yeah, they'll get at least some chip damage in trade for that life. There's going to be a glyph now, so, good trade, I think, for Clan in Progress.
Yeah, if they can take a fight here, because without the Meepo, that would be even better. They do see some heroes. Death Cookie looks like he is keen. Does have the Hurricane Pike if he wants to get ahead, but
but the Uber's arrived.
Yeah, Uber has arrived.
Oh, and there.
Oh,
except for Abyssa, he's good.
Wonder Boy's taking so much damage.
Man, that was
just
from
the twin spam.
Oh, of course, that's from the.
Sorry, Jakiro.
Yeah, the Jakiro as well as that Firestorm. It does percentage damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4%. Percentage damage is always a horrible thing to deal with, especially when you're a strength-based hero, I suppose.
Yeah, they don't care how much HP you have.
It's a lot of, like, burn, like, tick damage for...
And he has an Atos now as well. Wowzers.
Yeah. Wait, oh, the Jakiro. Yeah, oh.
The Jakiro.
Yeah. I mean... The next best thing off the Eels is that Atos. I think the Atos just gives you such good stats these days. Ever since
he has 26.4 spell amp just naturally before he casts Veil.
Wait, isn't it 8.4?
Plus 18%.
Oh, plus 18%. Right.
Because of the intelligence. There's a lot of intelligence out of a Kaya and a lot of Atos.
Yeah. So, that's enough. That will do. That will do.
Just if you're wondering if Twin scales, and there's a huge fight happening here.
Yeah, this is a very dead Ursa. Just walks up into the lane and dies instantly. That Meepo was just positioned well enough. They are going to look to turn this one around here. Global Silence is down. They did lose the Silencer on the back lines here. That did go the way of Death Cookie. They do get the ulti coming out from King Jason onto Cloud. Cloud should at least fall here, and that should be another kill for them. Buyback does come out from the Ursa, so they definitely want to take this fight very, very seriously, as that's going to be another death on the Meepo. This is a huge fight for Clan in Progress. Looking like they might even be able to turn this one around. In fact, it's going to be Abyss who's going to find himself in a bit of trouble. Rock Lee tries to come to the rescue, but will it be enough? As a good stun there from the Sand King, but it won't be enough, as he should die here. He should die. The Underlord, he did die. Right click flying out from, of course, the heaviest hitter, the Shadow Shaman. And that's a 5-man team wipe. What a fight. Clan in Progress.
Yeah, they knew that their Medusa's pretty strong right now. She's got the Hurricane Pipe and the Maelstrom, and is well on her way now towards Ascari. And they had the positioning, right, coming from the bottom lane. They just killed this ward, so they knew that exDee didn't have the vision of what they were doing. And knowing that, coming in from the bottom and just sort of cutting them in two. And then the Medusa's just doing so much damage. And it's being so tanky as well.
I mean, I'm definitely going to have to eat my words. And I have no problem with that. I like to see a good competitive game from a side like this. But Clan in Progress looking like they're pretty much stronger than I've initially anticipated them to be.
These are people that know what they're doing, Scarpy. They played a game of Dota 2 in their lifetime.
I'm sure they have. I mean,
King Jason S, I know from Dota 1. So he's been playing Dota for many, many years.
Yeah. I like his... instead of going for... He didn't go for the Necro books, realizing that he's going to have to be more active. Yeah. Didn't wait for the Blink Dagger, went for the Force Staff instead, and it's actually been pretty good. He's positioned himself very well in almost every team fight, so...
He also knows that the Ursa is doesn't really have the luxury of going for something like a Vlad's this game. He needs to be able to get... He needs bigger items than that. So going for a Vlad's himself helps not only him, like the Ursa, a lot, but also helps the Medusa as well in these fights.
Yeah. I mean... Vlad's is very heavily underrated, at least on Beastmaster, I believe. Even with the Necro Book build.
I mean, it's a 50% bonus attack damage.
Yeah, it's a lot. That is a lot.
For Medusa, that's a lot at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and it scales very well, so nothing wrong with that. And this Medusa, like you say, quite a decent way along to that.
1,000 gold from Scotty.
Yeah. Well, I think he's going to hold on to the buyback, just seeing that their base is under such.
Can they kill him if he has a Scotty? That's my question to you, Scotty. I think they'd have to tear apart the rest of his team first, but I think at this stage of the game, you know, unless he's walking out to Techie's mines, I don't feel like he's going to be instantly killed.
Yeah, but they're building... Cloud is just an absolute nuisance. He just throws out a little bit of fire. Oh, a little bit of a misplay maybe, but they're actually going to get the Savage Roar Global Silence maybe to turn this one around, but it seems like it's going to be a good escape here, and that's a big cooldown up, so they should know this. They could maybe look to fight into this one. Are they going to smoke and wrap around the back? It looks like it.
Yeah, I think that's the bait. I think they wanted to get that global silence down because now they know they can take a fight.
They too do lack one big ability, but 50-second cooldown on that one.
Yeah, it's a shorter cooldown to the silencer.
Another 100 left for the silencer. It looks like they're going to back themselves an out here as the Ubers arrived. Get them on out. And again, Abyss. He'll just be, you know, hanging around as the Meepo does some split pushing.
Yeah. Trying to get that mid set of barracks. It is pretty low. They do have the melee super creep here, so.
Yeah, it's a range rack, so it's not going to get that HP back. So any bit of chip damage is a success at least. So what does this Meepo get to survive these engagements? He's now got the Ethereal Blade. Does he need to go for Scotty here? I mean, I know the stats on the Scotty are far better than that of Heart.
Yeah.
For a Meepo, but does he need a Heart here?
I would probably get the Scotty, I think, rather than the Heart.
Fury walks into a bit of a tight corner there, finds 5 heroes. That's going to be Stone Gaze down though, so a big ultimate. Looks like exDee need to be careful here. Rock Lee's walking a bit aggressively. He's got an aggressive posture at least, but a big jump forward from the Slardar, and that might cost him his life, but can they actually make much more of this team fight? The Macro Pie is well placed here. This is a difficult thing to fight into. And it's going to be, Abyss, huge amounts of damage with the Echo. And, now Rocket Man trying to fight into Cloud. Gets a good ice path down, but the net does come through from the Troll. And Cloud, he's going to have to just deal with this. Oh, never mind. They're going to look to turn that one around. Good play from Abyss again. That's going to be a good success there. Rock Lee, he's trying to get himself on out of this one. Maybe a bit greedy there. Did opt to get the bouncy rune. Oh, he's still alive. He gets the bit of malice down, buys himself a bit of extra time, does have a TP on hand. And now both the Medusa and the Shaman need to get themselves an out as the rest of exDee will turn around. So good fight for exDee for a change. I suppose when they're fighting in the open, not close to the high ground, it's a far better fight for exDee, it seems.
Yeah, they need to have pretty good positioning. Like, just because of the amount of lockdown on exDee, they need to be able to get into those key heroes first to be, deal the damage, kill the Meepo. Kill this bloody tanky Underlord. Damn, Scarfy.
Yeah, he's a beefcake. Wow. But top racks fell in all that as well. So I believe that must have been the Meepo
things. Yeah.
So life's looking now a little bit tough with Clan Progress. I mean, they did well in a couple of fights, but like we said, things are slowly getting more and more difficult. Only one set of racks. Roche now picked up for the Meepo as well.
Yeah, that's just his other Meepos.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going for a butterfly, so not really caring. He just wants.
Is he going?
Evasion.
No, he's going for a second E-Blade. So higher agi stats on E-Blade than butterfly. So okay, could be arguably a pretty good item. Doesn't have the HP stats, but big fight now. Stone Gaze going to be used. Hunter jumped in aggressively. Of course, still does have the Aegis. He will go down. That's going to be one life of his used. He did, however, manage to get that main Meepo down onto the low ground, so he's got a little bit of an opportunity to maybe escape, but the Sheep's going to be there, and at least one of them, they do get the ultimate coming out from the Beastmaster, but the turnaround Abyss with a Ravage coming through. They should bring down King Jason. They also managed to bring down Wonder Boy, and this seems like it could be all she wrote. Buyback does come through from King Jason S. He's going to see what he can do to turn this one around. But as Hunter, he jumps onto the back line, trying to fight into this Medusa, and seems like he will do so successfully. In fact, finds himself a triple kill so far. Jason S is doing what he can. He's punching as hard as he can. Rampage picked up here for Hunter, as he's going to look for potentially even a double one. Playing ultra aggressively here. GG finally does get called. And man, oh man, what a team fight. And a Rampage for the Meepo, in fact.
Wow,
so,
yeah.
Good game. Anything you want to add on to the back of this before we go into game 2?
I think, like, they didn't manage to kill the twin and the supporting heroes in that fight, and Meepo just, off the back of that, just went wild. And Meepo, GG.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys in game number 2 shortly. as we get ourselves into this one. exDee managing to grab a pretty interesting game. It could have gone either way, actually, at the time. I think we discussed that, Demonic. But going into game 2, do you think Clan in Progress can have maybe a different mindset going into this game? Or do you just think there was just a few things that went wrong for them that lost them that game?
I think they didn't ban the Meepo, which is probably their first problem, because exDee is a hero that is more than happy to exploit picking that hero, and it's pushing power, and it's ratting power, and it's just irritation in general. So we don't see it banned as of yet, but I suspect it may get banned in the second phase. I mean, do exDee pick it again?
I've seen exDee first pick that hero, so I mean, they definitely could. Like you say, it's not banned out. They did ban out the CK this time. That's the only real difference. Earth Spirit this time picked up for Clan in Progress. That's nice. The hero I haven't seen too much of. Shadow Demon pick. I'm sure exDee have some sort of a plan, potentially a Morphling. We've seen quite a lot of Morphling lately in the mid lane. So
Morphling's really strong.
Yeah, currently he's looking that talent where he can become a hero. It's ridiculous. But they go for the Venge, so that's more than likely. I know Fury used to play just a hell of a lot of Venge. I don't know if that's a core Venge. People are still saying core Venge pretty damn strong. I've watched a game or two. It's done pretty well. So could potentially be a core Venge, but of course they can quickly change that one out of to a support role. So we'll
it's changeable at this stage. It's a nice open pick. You know, the Shadow Demon will be support, but the Venge doesn't give too much away.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Earth Spirit, I mean, and I don't think anyone's running the hero on mid anymore. I think the last person I saw run Earth Spirit on mid was Castaway, I think. And that was a long time ago still, so definitely they picked up their pos 4. Still very good pos 4 hero, but they've got at least 2 decentish answers who can rotate in and turn that sort of engagement around, so they won't be too concerned about that. The Rubik going to be the pickup here, in fact, for Clan in Progress. Nice. Always enjoy a good Rubik game. But I mean, it's not the strongest support in lane, I think, arguably, because I mean, the Fade Bolt's okay for harassing, but other than that, unless they get a solid stun, it's not that much of a concern, considering the Earth Spirit's more than likely not going to be in lane all the time.
Yeah, like if they team up together, then they're really strong. But whether or not that actually happens is a different thing entirely, right?
Is the value of the Earth Spirit lost like heavily if you leave him in the sort of tri lane, or do you expect maybe them to get something that's a hero that can sustain himself in the safe lane and just these 2 roam around and just look for successful rotations?
Yeah, I mean, last game these both teams had really active supports in the early stage of the game, so I wouldn't be surprised if these two just all 4 heroes on the map that we currently see end up roaming most of the first 10 minutes. Yeah,
I agree there. I think who was it that was playing the Slaughter for Clan in Progress? Is it Wolf or?
It was Wolf, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Wolf. Although that wasn't his name.
Yes. But his name is Wolf. Okay. That is how you would pronounce a WH Wolf, right? Wolf. I don't know.
Wolf.
Yeah. We're trying. But Tinker, I mean, I think exDee are looking to just end this game. I think when you pick up the Shadow Demon, you're sort of exposing your hand. You're saying, we're going to try and take your high ground. So getting rid of the Tinker, I mean, one of the greatest high ground defense heroes, arguably. Pretty solid, as well as the Tide Hunter, one of those heroes that can turn around engagements very, very quickly. So they did ban out the Luna, so it's leading me more and more to feel that there might be a Morphling pick here for exDee.
Like, I feel like they almost... Do you just leave Meepo in the pool this time?
Surely not.
Like, right? I feel with Tinker and Tide Hunter banned, I feel like you don't.
Do you know what's a disgusting strat, right? With the Meepo and the Shadow Demon? You make illusions of the Shadow Demon. Of the Meepo, and you send those illusions, and Meepo can poof onto those illusions. But they go for the Quap, at least. This could potentially be off lane or mid lane, but we'll see. Actually, a lot of teams have been running the Queen of Pain in the offlane, at least in the international scene. I haven't seen all that much of it in the SA scene, but yeah, again, a hero is leaving their hand pretty open here so far. So Queen of Pain, I suppose Queen of Pain makes sense against the Earth Spirit. That means his rotations onto the mid lane is probably not going to be that much of a concern for the Quap unless he gets a very, very instant silence down.
Like that Earth Spirit's not safe. With Shadow Demon, Vengeful Spirit, and Queen of Pain, like if he rolls away, there are multiple ways that they could just deal with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think just good vision in the mid lane and exDee are not concerned at all. As long as they got some form of vision, the Queen of Pain should never get caught. But they go for the Legion Commander. Interesting, the Legion Commander was the first ban from the side of exDee. So this time around, Clan in Progress are going to pick up that Legion Commander. I mean, pretty good answer to the Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain can be a Lincoln Sphere builder, and also at level 25 gets a passive Lincoln Sphere, 20-second cooldown on that one.
You are picking it into a Shadow Demon as well?
Yeah.
Like you can just...
I mean, does Legion just rush Ags? Like... Don't even get blink. Just rush Ags. Hope to pick up some Invis runes or something.
I mean, you almost have to go Aghanim Scepter, I feel, at some point this game.
I mean, you said there's Vengeful Spirit that can also swap out of the deals and buy a lot of extra time. So, and huge amounts of burst damage from a Queen of Pain if the Queen of Pain's in the vicinity. So this Legion Commander's got his work.
It's a risque pick, Scarpy. But
yeah.
It's pretty good against illusions, that must be said. Overwhelming odds is really good at just getting rid of those constant Shadow Demon illusions that come out towards the late game. That is an interesting pick in the Undying. That means they want to fight, and they want to fight a lot. So does that mean Core Venge? Or that's an offlane Undying?
So yeah, I was just about to say, I think this is offlane Undying. This is like a Rock Lee thing to do, I imagine. So I mean, Pos 4 Undying is still pretty damn good. So, I don't know. It's still very, very viable. So, again, leaving their hand open. But, yeah. In fact, anything could happen here, right? This draft of exDees is so open.
Yeah.
That's actually a nice pick.
I do like
this
that,
might even force the Queen of Pain into the offlane. Just an early silence and then a roll in from a Earth Spirit, and he can get his silence down, and they can just secure a kill on the Queen of Pain.
Silence is a really good way for the Legion Commander to be able to get his deals off in peace until BKBs and things happen. As long as he gets the Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's at least something. I think the Death Prophet's quite a nice pick. It's also decent into the Undying. Undying is one of those heroes that want to run you down. And the Siphon, you can just use that, bring down the Tombstone while you're regenning from that and kiting around the Undying. So I like that pick. I think it's very, very sensible from them.
Yeah, they were a little bit low on physical damage, in sort of like the mid game. So they needed something to be able to fight, and Death Prophet is a hero that doesn't mind fighting at all.
Yeah,
Scarpy.
Let's just say it's pretty much what the heroes pick for, right? Fighting and taking buildings. It's other attributes. It's okay. It's looking for those 5-man team fights. The Exorcism just doing a tremendous amount of physical damage in these team fights.
Yeah, I actually still think that like Siphon is probably still one of the strongest spells in the game. It is such an incredible spell, Scarpy.
Oh.
Like especially if you against things like Undying that want to run towards you constantly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can agree. And Queen of Pain will always be reluctant to jump towards you, because you can very quickly just make sure he doesn't get if you're fast enough to get the silence down, the Queen of Pain's not going to get all the burst damage down, and then all of a sudden you're getting siphoned, and you don't have blink for 3 more seconds. So it's a really good pick. It will change the playstyle of whoever's playing that Queen of Pain. But a couple of bans gone out the way. They ban out the Meepo, so making sure that Hunter doesn't get that one. The Morphling is going to be banned out actually by exDee themselves, so not looking to combo up this Shadow Demon, it seems. Unless we're going to see a Leshrac Kaya, because that's something I haven't seen yet, actually.
It's filthy. I think that's the only way to say it. It's like it's okay.
Weaver. Well, you said they need some physical damage. Now they got it in spades, at least. So
yeah, a pretty good Orchid carrier as well.
Very good at bringing
really
down
good
Tombstone. So that's also something.
Orchid yeah, you got the minus armor. You got a Bloodthorn carrier. Oh,
yeah, off-lane Quap. I thought that might change their plans. Maybe I don't know. Unless this was their plan from the beginning. But mid lane Invoker, we're gonna get to see some Cloud Invoker. So excited for that at least. How does that match up fair for you? I mean, it's one we've seen a lot of over the ages, but in this current patch, I can't say I've seen too many Death Prophets go up against Invokers.
I mean, Death Prophet can, in the first couple of levels, just manhandle the Invoker if the Invoker goes too aggressive. So, like, it's pretty much every Invoker game ever nowadays, in that he has to be pretty defensive for the most part.
Yeah, it's also going to force the Earth Spirit now to buy some dust when he does make his rotations, because I do imagine that Cloud's going to get a couple of points, at least 8 points in Quas and Wex, just to make sure that he can escape.
Actually, that being said, Scarfy, like the Death Prophet does have an Earth Spirit and a Rubik as well to rotate into the mid lane, which could turn that Invoker's like early game into just a nightmare.
Yeah, and I mean a rotation from a Shadow Demon, it will help, maybe, but an Undying is not really a hero. This is, like we say, this is a core Venge. I mean, that's a tough lane for the Invoker. I think the Invoker, if he does die once or twice, will fall back into the jungle and potentially have to farm there. And that's still not going to be safe, because the Nurse Spirit is more than happy to spend a bit of time scouting him out.
The only lockdown they have in the early game is the Venge stun, Scarpy, which like makes me a little bit worried. You know, like people can just walk away. We've said this before, and and I'll say it again. And we've seen TP scrolls happen. And was it in the series last week? Gosh, how many times? Just because if you don't have a stun in the early game, people can just walk away.
Look at Hunter making up girls' names. I'm joking, Jessica. If you're real, I just. Everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone's saying the same thing. I knew it would happen. But yeah, they're going to get themselves in. I mean, Venge doesn't have a terrible stats gain overall, I think. So the Shadow Demon does sort of scale decently, at least, with the Venge in taking buildings. Some love. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about Venge? Do you think a Venge core? Because I've seen mixed outcomes, at least from Avenge.
The thing is, like, it's very easy if the Venge gets pressured like pretty early that she just sort of crumbles. Doesn't have enough farm to be able to sit to that carry role and deal the damage that she needs to. But if she manages to keep up, get the farm that she needs, like, she doesn't have any massive farming abilities, right? So she's just got to literally like hit creep after creep after creep after creep and just keep going until she reaches a point that she goes, oh, okay, I suddenly have enough farm to be able to like hang and bang as a carry.
Yeah. But
until that stage, she just feels a little bit like a support, you know, with a stun. So she needs to be able to just keep up that farm and just keep on going.
Yeah, absolutely. It does hit hard eventually.
Yeah, it happens eventually. You know what I mean?
And with the new, it's the Vengeance Aura, right? When you die, was it a talent tree? When you die, that makes the illusion that hits so stupidly hard. It's the stupidest ability I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's great.
So the other day I was playing against it. Okay, mid lane, Rolling Boulder, not gonna latch, and Wolf can have a little bit of a unfortunate one there for him. Gonna be sharing a bit of XP here with Death Cookie, so bad trade there for them. But like I was saying, we were playing against the Venge, and we team wiped them almost. Only the Venge was alive. And 4 illusions, they're just beating one person up. Instantly dies because you can't do anything about it. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's actually so dumb. So fun. You got to be a bit careful, at least when you play up against the Venge.
It's true. I think it's just because of a Vengeance Aura now. Right, yeah.
Oh, bot lane. Rock Lee's got to point up into the length, so I won't be too concerned, but it's actually going to be Abyss who's going to take a little bit of damage here currently. But again, like we say, Rock Lee does have a blink if it's necessary, but figures that he'll be fine here. But once he does get points up into that Shadow Strike, it's actually going to do quite a lot of damage, especially with the decay stacks, maybe onto one of these heroes. It's a lot of tick damage at that time.
Yeah, there's not too much regen in this lane, actually. Weaver only has 4 tangos. Slinky does have a solve if he needs, but you know, once that gets going, it's just constant pressure on your regen.
Yeah. I think it's a bit difficult now for the Queen of Pain to at least find the next few levels, but after that, this lane is going to be a very, very difficult one for them to deal with. King Jason, he's farming up in the jungle here. He did catch potential pull attempt from Fury. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did, and he got at least 2 of the creep, and he got the big creep, so...
Abyss is going to walk straight into 2 supports that were looking to at least put some pressure on mid. Good dodge onto the rolling boulder. Lift, then drops him down into the Ancients, so the Ancients are going to assist with a little bit of extra damage here. But Abyss is going to turn around, gets a double decay once again, so he's actually pretty damn tank, and they realize, okay, we got to get ourselves out of here. This Undying is a very big problem. Very, very big problem, so... Not the easiest person to bring down. By any means.
Yeah, he can decay pretty good spell in the early game. That 4 strength that he gets from every stack, and it looks like mid might be in a little bit of trouble here. Cloud is pretty low though.
Yeah, looking for it at least. Do they have Sunstrike? No, there's not enough mana on hand here for Cloud, so in fact, just not enough. He might have Sunstrike a little bit later. Maybe he'll go for some crazy play. In fact, does have it now. But there's a salve on hand here for Death Cookie, and he will actually scout that one out. Meanwhile, First Blood does go the way of Rock Lee in the spot lane, and seems like, as we spoke about, there's a lot of potential damage coming out from these two. 2 points up into the Shadow Strike. This is very, very difficult for the Weaver to deal with.
Alright, and I heard at least 2 Shadow Strikes go off in the spot lane, so just the Weaver taking 1 point into the Kuchi, just taking a lot of damage here. And with the sentry there, even if he is Kuching, that Shadow Strike still lands, which I think is the more important fact.
I mean, a hero with such a low HP pool losing the strength constantly it's the worst. It's the worst thing ever. But
yeah,
they again more. I mean, max 460 HP. I mean, that Queen of Pain's dealing a lot of damage. But at least he's trying to avoid at least some of the Shadow Strike damage. Meanwhile, mid lane. Oh, miss uphill! Oh, Sunstrike! No, it's not going to land! Good turnaround here from Death Cookie. Actually gets the scythe out, and it won't be enough, though. Cloud will actually right-click him down, so maybe a little bit of a miscalculation there. As that was 2 points up into the Siphon, so...
Yeah, but 2 points up into Exort. Yeah. Turns out to be great, sir.
Still no points in Wex, so... I mean, living life on the edge, right?
Yeah. Has to, he's having to get the quest to deal with the spam coming out of Death Cookie. Death Cookie already got that bottle up, so just pounding those crypt swarms down the lane.
I must say both these offlaners are having a great time. Even the Legions managed to find a decent amount of farm, but this Queen of Pain. Oh, actually looking to do a little bit more damage. Oh, that's a big problem. Actually catches out 2 heroes there. That's another kill going their way. Abyss will pick that one up for himself, and not only that, but they'll get some gold from these bugs that were thrown onto them, so... Oh boy, Tri-Lane's not really paying off here for Clan in Progress right now. And it seems like King Jason, he's the next to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to get banished away here by Fury. The kick goes through, it's going to land on one. Do they have enough damage, really? The swap's there. Will it be enough? It does slow the boulder down, but it's just not enough damage. Hunter's still lacking that little bit of damage to secure those kind of kills.
Yeah, but does have that Aquila up at least. And Sunstrike.
Does land, but it's just not going to be enough. That's 3 points up into the Exort. And yeah, Tad not doing all that bad considering in this mid lane. Did find a kill into Death Cookie. I suppose the supports just have been forced to sit in the spot lane with this Weaver because how aggressive they are playing there. And haven't been able to put all that much pressure onto Cloud.
Yeah, I mean, Rocketman is just having an atrocious time in this lane, just because of the 2 heroes they have down here. Queen of Pain with her spam damage, and the fact that they've just always had a sentry down here, and you losing your strength as a Weaver in the early game, as a hero that has no strength. There's a huge gang about to happen in the lane by the looks of things.
Yeah, DD on hand here for Slinky. And this could be a good kill for them, but a banish does come through. Fury does scatter at least Wolf, but now Wolf taking a significant amount of damage. Must be a bit careful here. Cloud looking to turn around, doing a hell of a lot of damage onto Death Cookie. I mean, that Siphon is irrelevant with those right clicks coming up from the Invoker. Hitting extremely hard. 3 points up into the Exort. And scary hero to be fighting into. And that's going to be it for that rotation. No deaths. Yeah. And that was somewhat favorable, at least to Clan in Progress, but they just
it must be said, with that Forge Spirit around, you know, the Forge Spirit -1 armor every time it hits, and Death Cookie only has 5 armor. So, you know, if that little minion gets like 2 or 3 hits on him, it just means the Invoker's dealing that much more damage to him.
Yeah. Oh, top lane, swap gonna be used here. Hunter, must be careful. Rotations are coming in. It's gonna be cancelled, in fact. So, still keeping the pressure up onto King Jason. This is pretty much a 1v1 lane. I mean, Fury's been on the prowl most of the time. Hasn't really done much other than that, and is now keeping a good eye on King Jason. Nice ward placement here. They'll know if he falls into the jungle. They know if there's a potential kill. Maybe even a setup for a Sunstrike here with the disruption. I've been calling it Banish the whole time. I suppose it is Banish, but meanwhile bot lane, bit of pressure. They finally find the kill onto Wolf, in fact, and man, that's another kill for them. Rocket Man will go down. Rock Lee, he's got Blink in a few more seconds, but I think he dies to the bug. No, the bug time's out! Oh no! That's ridiculous. Meanwhile, top lane, they do find the kill onto Jason. And now, oh, good. Does he have enough damage? Oh, the Queen of Pain ults there! Can Wolf get the kill? He does, but that's going to be an ultra kill for Rock Lee. That is ridiculous. This offlane Queen of Pain is absolutely getting out of control right now. Whoa.
Just Decay, man. Decay.
Decay is so good.
Let the Undying survive much longer than he should have been able to, right? Just standing there. He managed to get a 2-man Decay as he was about to die the first time. So it's to survive. And then managed to just basically hit the Rubik to death. Death Cookie now taking a lot of damage in the mid lane.
Oh yeah, they're going to get at least a disruption down. Going to maybe use the Forge Spirit to tank the tower. And that's a kill. And the kill does go the way of Cloud. They also get an illusion of the Death Prophet, of course, but I mean, yeah, it will do some damage, I guess. Get 14 gold to Jason, so better rolling boulder. Fury gonna get the kick landed on him. Finally, a kill will go their way, and that will go the way of the Legion Commander. So he does have level 6, didn't manage to get a deal there, but he'll take what he can get at this current stage.
Yeah.
Clan in Progress, finding their second kill of the game.
Yeah, I mean, not getting a deal there, I think is fine. Just being able to spam and walk away, you know, then you didn't take any damage. You can now think about rotating onto that Venge. He's still pretty weak, actually.
Oh, yeah. This Venge might be in a bit of trouble here, but they haven't actually been able to find anything. So, Hunter, fully aware that something was going on. Did the ward here maybe scout something? I think they just know there's people missing off the map. They don't want to
scouted the support heroes.
Yeah. I mean, the Queen of Pain's so out of control, your supports are not going to go there. They're just going to die. Mid lane, though. This should be a very dead Death Prophet. Sunstrike to land, and Kix comes through, buys a bit of time, but will it be enough? No, it will not. Cloud will find himself yet another kill, but whoa, a big amount of damage coming out from King Jason, but still no real follow-up. Rocket Man doesn't have much at all. He's only got an Aquila and a Bolt of Strength. So, foregoing the boots and going for that Bolt of Strength just to try and keep himself alive from the decay stacks, potentially. But meanwhile, Fury will find himself a kill. Solo kill for him onto that Rubik. So Rubik must have overextended there. I think swap was used.
Sure.
No. Yeah, it was probably used very
see what happened. Okay, fine. I mean, this is going like really. If you look at the net worth, like the amount that they managed to get on the laning stage, exDee is just so much. They're at least 1,000 gold ahead of all their counterparts.
Look at that Queen of Pain, though. That's just...
Well, that's what happens when you give him an ultra kill at like, what, 7 minutes into the game, Scarfy?
That's just silly, actually. That's absolutely silly. But Rock Lee will find himself a tower as well on the back of that. He is wealthy. He's got a Veil of Discord up, now going for the Kaya early on. Another hero that can make good use of that Kaya, in fact. Spell Amp is ridiculous, so... Cloud's now found his hand on Midas.
I feel like they might have done better just to send the Weaver into the offlane when they saw what was happening down here. Like, he at least would have been able to get farm against the Venge. pretty like okay, and you know the
they're
Legion
going
can
for a
at least,
kill here on the mid lane. Rolling Boulder's going to be there, won't be enough though. He does get the kick through. Disruption will be there, but that opens up an opportunity here for them to turn it around. But oh, Cloud nearly did enough damage to actually survive that one. They all trade one, but it's going to be 2 for 1 now. They do find Fury on the back of this Abyss. He's found himself in a bit of a rough position, but now Rockley has joined the fray here, and he's doing some real damage. Do they have enough to bring down Cookie though? There's a good kick coming through from Wolf as he slows that down a little bit. Big jump forward coming at you from the Queen of Pain. They do finally find the kill there onto Death Cookie. That Screamer is traveling for quite a distance. Hunter will find himself another kill. And what seemed to be a favorable fight turned on its head very quickly as soon as Rock Lee joined the fray.
Yeah, they just weren't able to get out in time, unfortunately. And just 4 damage into that Shadow Strike. He was trying to bottle through it, but unfortunately, the Death Prophet not being able to at the end of the day. Just so much damage.
This Queen of Pain's enough.
And it looked so good, Scorpy. Like it wasn't the best start to a fight, but and now there's some real pressure happening over this tower.
Oh, stun going to be thrown out here onto the Death Prophet, but now looking for something else. Just Rocket Man. They did throw down the tombstone right next to the tower, so they might actually have to lose that. So a decent amount of gold, at least going to 150 gold. For the Weaver, who's been in a bad place, so got trades now, so I mean, it's nothing to really write home about, but anything right now for Clan in Progress will be good.
Yeah, those fights just not going their way. I mean, they do have a Blink Dagger on the Legion Commander, so if they can actually get some vision up, find these heroes that are alone, such as Fury, you know, get those pickoffs, and then that could be some like quick and easy kills, get some damage onto your Legion Commander, then you can actually start like fighting. But at the moment, Abyss. Who's scared of who here in this situation? I think the Undying's not. So
yeah,
Rubik just walks away.
I mean, this Undying, he's actually might be in a bit of trouble here, taking quite a lot of damage. Does have decay, going to heal himself, and that just means Rock Lee's going to turn around and come and join the fray. And they're all going to be pretty careful here. Wolf doesn't have a TP for a few more seconds, so he's got a bit of his dancing shoes on here if he wants to get out of this one, but they're going to scout him here. They should. Nope. Oh, beautiful, beautiful moves.
What a
coming
juke.
out.
Just passing his neighbor. Just passing his neighbor.
Space
there. Beautiful.
created. Space created. I agree. Well played. Well played. I think the trees are not this patch, but a few patches ago have made it a lot more viable for juking in the both the top and the bot lane, so it's always fun to see those though.
Fury? Jeez, that's... I mean, I suppose he's got an arcane really. He's not really scared.
I mean, he's pretty deep. Like,
I feel like he should be a little bit afraid.
Yeah, a little bit is well, he's keeping himself alive, and Rock Lee comes in, but he's just gonna die for that. And I don't think Rock Lee even gets a trade here. Actually, Wolf does miss his silence, but I mean, Rock Lee needs to get himself an outs. He does get the kill into Slinky though, but I mean, any 1-for-1 trade is pretty good, especially if you're gonna get a tombstone off the back of it. Where is that tomb? Oh, it's
on the low ground. They can't get
really
to it.
well
Yeah. It disabled the Legion's blink. The Legion wanted to even just try and go for the, but unfortunately, as he got in, got hit by a little zombie and left a little bit confused. That has allowed Hunter, who's picked up a Mask of Madness, to just trash this top lane tower.
Yeah. Another tower into their bag. 11k net worth lead right now for them. I mean, you got Blink Dagger up on the Legion Commander, but we already discussed how many options there are to really negate that issue of the Legion Commander. Usually that's a good spike for you. What spike are they relying on now? Do they want to get level 2 up into Exorcism before they really take another fight, or do they need to just...
The problem is it's like their damage, right? Yeah. They don't have damage at the moment. The Weaver's so far behind. I mean, he's sitting at, what, 5th on the net worth list. I mean, all of their cores are actually so far behind compared to their counterparts that they just don't have like the physical damage that to be able to win those you know, or even have the burst to be able to win those duels.
Yeah, I agree with you there. 100%. And the Weaver's still not really going for a damage item, in fact going for the Lincoln Sphere. Maybe a bit concerned about that Venge. And also the setup that Fury does have, so... I mean, pretty defensive item. TP coming in now from the Legion Commander. They might look to turn this one around as they are looking to put some damage onto the tier 1 tower. The kick comes through. It's going to land onto Hunter. That could potentially be something for them. But the Siphon is going to be broken almost instantly. And that's going to be all she wrote As Tombstone was stolen though, so they can actually bid a Tombstone into that Tombstone and make this even more of a stalemate.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait for that Tombstone to actually go down. It's a little bit risky on the low ground to actually go and hit it, so they just have to wait a little bit. And having their own Tombstone is really strong, actually.
Yeah, it's going to buy them a bit of extra space in the next upcoming team fight, especially if there's going to be a push into this tower. They can really position a nice Tombstone to make them not want to overextend at least. But I don't know. It seems like exDee, they're more than happy to hang around here. As now Vale's going to land onto 2 at least. A big jump forward coming at from Wolf. Oh, the deal's good though. Oh, but good disruption. Get a bit of extra time. Oh, huge ulti from Rock Lee. It's a disaster. That's going to be 4 down in the trade of 1. And all they managed to find was that lonesome undying. But wow, that ultimate that came out from the Queen of Pain absolutely destroyed them.
Oh. Wow, yeah. I mean, what more do you say? Kaya plus Vale plus level 2 Sonic Wave?
Yeah. It sucks. Do you, like, not go Ags anymore because it's pure damage and you get more amp out of the magical damage these days?
Maybe?
Does it make Ags bad? Is really the question I'm asking. Like, I know the cooldown's fantastic, but
yeah, I don't think so. I don't feel like it makes Ags like terrible.
Yeah, fair enough. I personally, I've not always been a fan of Ags. I always feel like the stats are always so bad, but once you do have it up, you farm very quickly. But Tombstone going to be dropped here. They're looking for a lot more. Deal's going to be there, and it's going to be a successful deal. In fact, kill does go the way of Death Cookie, and I think that's the second win. Meanwhile, Rock Lee is going to just go and just secure a kill. Now maybe looking for a little bit more. Actually, he might find himself in a bit of trouble. Defensive swap. Oh, 3-man tornado. EMP going to be dropped, but it's not going to really do much, but negates any more of a fight. And good disengage coming at you from exDee.
Would the spell amp just naturally deal... Would it not just make how much spell the damage is dealing more? Would it not just deal more pure damage?
It's spell amp, right? It's not magic amp. That's actually a very good point. You're right.
Yeah.
Definitely right. So physical spells also get amped by spell amp, right?
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. So is Kaya actually... Actually, I don't know.
Kaya's like the best item in the game for any
Oh yeah.
Just buy it.
It's the Yasha of intelligence here, but better. But
Exactly.
big attempt here. Actually, Rock Lee taking a lot of damage and needs to be careful. Does blink himself up to a safe position. Does have Hunter to back him up a little bit here if necessary. So more rotations are coming in. Abyss as well as Fury marching their way down to the bot lane here, but I don't know if we're going to see much more of a fight. Legion Commander does desperately want to maybe find himself another kill, but if he can find one more level, he can get a level 2 duel. So he should just at least kill one of the little creep. Just one creep.
I mean, this net worth chart's actually beautiful. You can see where it, like, exactly where the 12k, there's 12 out of 14k is on all 3 of the cores, right?
Yeah.
Of the 14, and then there's the other 2ks between the 2 supports. It's actually a really nice sort of pleasing, it's a pleasing graph. Oh, good blink from King Jason.
Yeah, pretty evasive there by him. As seems like exDee, they're going to commit at least for a bit of a push here onto the bot lane. And maybe use some of these illusions coming out from the Venge. So Venge got Mask of Madness as well as the Hurricane Pike, looking for the BKB now. I mean, doesn't have damage dealing items, but this is a hero that just naturally deals a lot of physical damage, so...
No, it's dealing 185, hits, so it's not the best at the moment, but it'll scale once he gets, like, the next item or 2.
He's got Mask of Madness though, but big jump forward here, they're going to look for at least another kill here. Is there going to be a disruption onto the No, they will not. The kill does go the way of Jason. He does find himself another duel, but it was a 1-for-1 trade that did lose the yes on the back of that one. And the chase is on. It's going to be Rock Lee looking for a little bit more. They do find the kill there. That's a double kill going the way of Venge, in fact. As Hunter, great success there for them, and another successful fight. And this tier 2 should go down.
Now these Tombstones, man, they don't have the best way of dealing with them at this stage of the game. So, just dealing so much damage. Ooh.
There was a swap there. Hunter holding on to it for a little bit longer. Still has that swap, but he's just going to be disrupted in the air to make sure that there was no setup for anything to shut him down. But the high ground already under siege. A little bit of chip damage coming out from these illusions. As they don't really have the answers right now. Death Prophet's down. Only a Weaver who's extremely underfarmed, like we've touched on. He's the most farmed in his team, but I mean, he's not dealing any real significant damage. He's got Perseverance. Doesn't even give you 10 damage anymore. So.
And they went to +1 Force Spirit on the Invoker just to give them that additional pushing power.
Oh yeah, of course. I like that he put the Alacrity over on Wagon. That Wagon hits buildings stupidly hard once the Alacrity's on it.
Alacrity on Carties is a lot of fun. Just because, I mean, those carts deal so much damage to towers now, it's actually ludicrous.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you remember the time with the Brewmaster Brewling, with the Alacrity.
Yes, yeah.
That was silly. That was pretty silly. But,
Demolished Panda.
Yeah, that was just so ridiculous. That attack speed, you just quarter HP each building. It's pretty dumb. But Tier 2 Town are going to be under a little bit of threat here. Is there any way for them to slow this down? It just seems like Clan in Progress, they're just hoping for a massive blunder here from exDee. And exDee, they're still showing a lot of respect here. They're not committing too much to the high ground. Even though they do have a favorable setup, they still don't want to give anything away this kind of stage.
Yeah, I think just heading back towards that bottom lane. Looks like they actually want to take the racks first and then move on. Look how much damage the racks is taking.
Oh yeah, these illusions hit so hard, like really, really, really hard. And now, oh, that's a Lincoln Sphere, my friend. The deal going to be a little bit of a whiff there. Silence going to be thrown down, catches out. Su's going to buy a little bit of extra time, but Hunter's going to be able to force off himself out. Big setup here from Cloud. Huge damage coming through, and that'll be a kill for them. Abyssal find 2. That's going to be the Tombstone doing all the work. Rock Lee finds Slinky on the back lines there, and that should be at least a lane of racks, if not 2.
Oh yeah, and I mean, they just don't really have that high ground defense hero that can like help them out this time. You know, last time they had like the Beastmaster, they had some Medusa, they had some heroes that at least can hang and bang in the high ground and actually fight it out. But this time, that with like Weaver and a Death Prophet that hasn't had the best game.
Yeah.
Like who's going to stand in their front line and actually fight what exDee have at the moment?
Oh, this Weaver's in trouble. Look at that damage he takes, man. I mean, the Venge, like you say, is not really dealing that much damage. That Mask of Madness with the attack speed is making him a bit of a concern. He is alone now.
And he's got a Desolator on his way.
Ah, Desolator flying in. Do they have a stun? No, they don't. So he knows he can just get himself out of that one. He could have even cancelled that TP and turned that around. Don't know if that was all that necessary. Big jump forward and whoa, Rock Lee. That magical damage coming out of him is... Wow. Wow. That's all I can say.
Kaya. Oh, wow.
Yeah, someone was telling me, yeah, they should like make a item with the Sunj and the Kaya, like Sunj and Kaya or something like that. I was like, let's first fix Kaya before we do anything like that, because it's pretty damn strong. But deal going to be thrown down here. At least they might find themselves one. Sunstrike is definitely going to land. Actually, they don't get it, and that's going to be a kill onto Jason, as Wolfus is going to die on the backlines to the Venge. I mean, to the Queen of Pain, who's going very, very deep here. Now Hunter's just dealing a stupid amount of physical damage, and this is GG. GG, well played, has been called.
Yeah, this is about the stage, Scarpy, where the Venge feels like a carry. Once he's got that the Hurricane Pike, he's sorted. He's good to go.
Yeah, but I think MVP does go to that Queen of Pain. Did fantastic job in that lane. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call it a day for now. We're going to be back at 6 o'clock with our next match. And we'll be seeing you there shortly. Cheers.